4.1 section, we're talking about solving, so that's finding solutions to quadratic equations using graphical methods. So a quadratic equation is a quadratic expression like this equaling some number. That's an equation. Very simple. We can find the solutions to this equation using the graphed form of the corresponding function. So if you just put y equals this instead of the 0, then this function, we can, the parts of the graph that are the x-intercepts will actually then be the solution. So I'll say that once again. Okay, just real briefly, if you have an equation like this, if you have an equation like this one right here, and you want to solve this equation, that is find the x values that make the left side equal 0, then change the 0 to y and graph it. When you graph it, look at the x values of the intercepts, because those will be the x values that make this y equal 0. Remember, it was 0 before. So x-intercepts are the same as roots of the equation, are the same as zeros of the function on the graph, same as the x-intercepts. Okay? Now, one of the ways you can do that is you can just look at the graph and identify the x-intercepts. That's number one. Another way you could do that is you could use a table of values. So here I did an example where we used tables of values and we found out what the axis of symmetry was. That's the x value of the vertex. Remember, negative b over 2a. And then we plugged that in and found the vertex. Okay, good place to start right there. Then we found some other points, some other random points, connected them, and then we could find, if we graph this carefully, you could get the solutions, the approximate solutions, not exact, but probably the approximate solutions using a table of values and like paper and pencil. Finally, graphing technology, okay, graphing technology here, we did this equation, or sorry, this function right here, we graphed it and found the x-intercepts. And so that looks like this. There's the parabola, and to find the x-intercepts, you do second function calculate down to 0, and then your calculator will say left bound down here for this equation. Yeah, okay, there's the parabola. If you want to find this intercept, go just to the left of it and say yes, that's the left boundary. And then it'll say right boundary. So go down here and click enter for the right boundary, and it'll give you two arrows, and it's, if you click enter one more time, it'll find the x-intercept between those two arrows. And so you'll see that this 8.116 right here is one of the x-intercepts that we found using graphing technology. You do the same for the other side, which we did, and we found that intercept to be negative 0.616. Okay? So that is 4.1 in a nutshell. Okay? The full lesson is also on YouTube, but this is the brief version where I kind of explain some more things and talk a little bit in more detail about all these steps. But that's like in this example you'll see on the full video, is if I have an equation like this, I can set it up by moving things around so that it does equal 0. And then once I have it equaling 0, I just change this 0 right here, right, to a y, and then I can use the graph to solve. And that is finding the x-intercepts. Those are the solutions, the multiple solutions to make this right side here equal 0. So that is using the graph to solve for quadratic equations.